Millions of Canadians are spending thousands of dollars on the wrong shotgun, while some of the best-built models ever made are quietly being overlooked. And by the end of this video, you might completely change the way you look at your next shotgun. Number 7. SDS Imports. Let's start with a name that can be misunderstood. SDS Imports is not a centuries-old shotgun maker like Beretta or Winchester. It operates primarily as an American importer and distributor, bringing firearms produced by manufacturing partners into the North America market. And honestly, that distinction matters. When several different shotguns arrive under the same importer, they may share a distributor while having different factories, internal designs, quality control processes, and intended markets. So judging every SDS imported shotgun as though it were one single product would be misleading. What makes this name relevant is the role it represents in the modern firearms industry, global manufacturing. Today, a shotgun may be designed in one country, manufactured in another, imported through an American company, and then sold throughout North America. That is a very different world from the era when nearly every major brand built everything inside one historic factory. SDS Imports represents that newer, more complicated side of the market. And that brings us to another name that has built its identity around accessible firearms and a surprisingly long industrial history. Number 6. Rock Island Armory. Rock Island Armory is often associated with budget-friendly firearms, but the company behind the brand has roots going back much further than many people realize. Its parent company, Armscor, traces its history to a business established in the Philippines in 1905. The company later became a firearms manufacturer, adopted the Armscor name in 1980, expanded into the United States in 1985, and acquired the Rock Island Armory brand. That background is important because Rock Island Armory is not simply a recently created name placed on imported products. It belongs to a larger, family-run manufacturing operation with decades of production experience. Its shotgun catalog has included pump-action, semi-automatic, over and under, single-shot, and magazine-fed platforms. Official company manuals reference models such as the VR60, VR80, VRBP100, M5, Mariva, and several traditional pump-action designs. Now, does that mean every model is identical in construction or purpose? Absolutely not. Rock Island Armory covers a wide range, from conventional sporting designs to modern, visually distinctive platforms. That variety is part of the reason opinions about the brand can differ so sharply. Some people see affordability and variety. Others focus on the differences between individual models. The fairest way to understand RIA is not to treat the logo as the entire story. You have to look at the specific platform, its origin, and the period in which it was produced. And speaking of brands built around practical value, the next company turned that idea into more than a century of history. Number 5. Mossberg. Mossberg began in 1919 when Swedish immigrant Oscar Frederick Mossberg and his sons established O.F. Mossberg & Sons in New Haven, Connecticut. According to the company's own history, their original goal was straightforward: manufacture durable and reliable firearms that working people could afford. That philosophy became central to the Mossberg identity. The company did not build its reputation around decorative engraving or luxury presentation. It became known for practical designs, broad availability, and firearms intended to perform as working tools. Over time, Mossberg's pump-action shotguns became some of its most recognizable products. The Mossberg 500 family, introduced during the 20th century, developed into a broad platform with numerous sporting, field, and professional configurations. The company also highlights its history of supplying pump-action shotguns manufactured to meet United States government specifications. But the real significance of Mossberg is bigger than one model. It is one of the few major American firearms companies that remain closely identified with family ownership and practical manufacturing, while much of the industry went through mergers, bankruptcies, and ownership changes. There is nothing mysterious about the formula. Keep the design understandable. Keep production practical. continue updating the platform without completely abandoning what made it recognizable. Simple? Yes. Easy to sustain for more than a century? Definitely not. But our next name goes back even further and is connected to some of the most famous repeating firearms ever produced. Number 4. Winchester. Winchester became an official company name in 1866 when Oliver Winchester took control of the New Haven Arms Company and reorganized it as the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Most people immediately connect Winchester with lever-action rifles and the American West. But Winchester's shotgun history is also enormous. The company introduced the lever-action Model 1887, its first semi-automatic shotgun in 1911, and the Model 1912 pump-action shotgun 1 year later. That design later became widely known as the Winchester Model 12. The Model 12 earned a reputation as one of the classic American pump shotguns. Then came the Model 21 side-by-side, the Model 101 over and under, the Model 1200, the Model 1300, and eventually the modern SXB and Super X semi-automatic families. Here is where the Winchester story becomes more complicated. Modern Winchester branded firearms are not all produced in one American factory. The brand now draws on manufacturing facilities in different countries, with the location depending on the specific model. Winchester itself advises customers to check the country of origin marking on the barrel. That does not erase the history, but it does mean the Winchester name now represents several eras. The original New Haven period, later licensed production, and today's international manufacturing system. Same legendary name, very different industrial chapters. And the next company has experienced one of the most dramatic chapters of all. Number 3. Remington. Remington traces its story to Eliphalet Remington in the year 1816, giving the name more than 2 centuries of firearms history. In the shotgun world, 2 models dominate the conversation: the Model 870 pump-action and the Model 1100 semi-automatic. The Model 870 became one of the most recognizable pump shotguns ever developed. The 1100 helped establish the gas-operated semi-automatic as a major presence in sporting and competition shooting. But there is an important modern distinction. The historic Remington business went through bankruptcy and restructuring. RemArms states that it is a new company and began producing Remington firearms in April 2021. Remington Firearms and Remington Ammunition are now operated as separate companies. That means the word Remington can describe firearms produced during very different periods, under different corporate structures and manufacturing conditions. An older Wingmaster, a later Express model, and a new RemArms Fieldmaster may carry the same historic name, but they should not automatically be treated as identical products. This is exactly why dates, markings, and individual model specifications matter so much in any serious historical discussion. The Remington story is not simply about a famous logo. It is about how an American industrial name survived major changes and entered a new era. Now we move from American manufacturing history to a company whose roots reach back to Renaissance Italy. Number 2. Beretta. Beretta was founded in Gardone Val Trompia, Italy, in 1526. Let that date sink in. The company has been controlled by the Beretta family for roughly 5 centuries, spanning multiple generations and enormous changes in manufacturing technology. Very few industrial brands in any category can claim that kind of continuity. Beretta's shotgun history includes traditional side-by-side designs, over and under competition guns, and modern semi-automatics. Its over and under platforms became particularly important in clay shooting and international competition, while models such as the A300 and A400 carried the company into modern semi-automatic design. What separates Beretta's story is the combination of old-world identity and large-scale industrial production. This is not a tiny workshop frozen in the past. The modern company uses advanced production systems, international facilities, and contemporary quality control processes while continuing to present itself as the heir to centuries of Italian gunmaking. That blend, tradition on one side, industrial modernization on the other, is the core of the brand. And yet, the final company on this list built its reputation in a very different way. Not through 5 centuries of history, but through one operating concept that changed the modern semi-automatic shotgun market. Number 1. Benelli. Benelli began building firearms in 1967. Compared with Beretta, Winchester, or Remington, that makes it relatively young. But age is not the reason Benelli became influential. Engineering is. The company became closely associated with the inertia-driven operating system developed during that period. Instead of routing propellant gas through a conventional gas system, the design uses the movement created by recoil and an internal spring assembly to cycle the action. Benelli describes the system as having 3 primary components, with a rotating bolt head and a relatively simple internal layout. That concept became the foundation of models, including the Montefeltro M1, M2, and the Super Black Eagle family. The original Super Black Eagle arrived in the early 1990s and helped establish Benelli as a major name in modern semi-automatic shotguns. But here's what makes the company's rise so interesting. Benelli did not need the age of Winchester. It did not need Beretta's 5-century family history. It found one distinctive engineering identity, refined it across multiple generations, and built an entire global reputation around it. That is a very different path to recognition, and it proves something important. History can create a legendary brand, but a focused technological idea can do it too. So, what does this entire list actually show? It shows that a famous name never tells the complete story. SDS Imports represents modern international distribution. Rock Island Armory reflects the growth of Philippine manufacturing into the North American market. Mossberg represents practical American production. Winchester carries one of the industry's most recognizable historic identities. Remington shows how a legendary name can survive corporate collapse and begin again. Beretta represents centuries of continuous family tradition. And Benelli demonstrates how one engineering system can reshape an entire category. These companies did not arrive at the same place by following the same road. Some relied on tradition. Some relied on affordability. Some relied on industrial scale. And some relied on a single technical idea developed extremely well. That is why shotgun history is far more interesting than simply asking which logo is the most famous. The better question is this: which company has the most fascinating story? And which model should receive a full historical documentary next? Leave your answer in the comments, and subscribe for more videos exploring the history, engineering, and evolution of the world's most recognizable firearms.